I've been thinking about you though. It's been a time. It's been a very rigorous semester, but let's get started making these eggs. Okay, my butter's already out. I need to get some utensils here. So what I'm making this morning, and let me grab it's very convenient to have the peppers here, so I'm gonna grab one because we're gonna be using one of those too, because make it spicy. One thing you can do if you don't like very hot peppers is you can like empty the seeds out. You just kind of tap on it till most of the seeds come out, because the seeds are like the spicy part, and if you don't like that, you can make it a little bit milder. All right, so I have a pan here. The things that you will need to make this dish. The dish is actually really, really quite simple. There are eggs. There are tomatoes. There is garlic, chili pepper. You can kind of put in what you want in this. Traditional shakshuka has peppers in it. Also, you can put chickpeas in it if you're into that kind of thing. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. You could put in shredded zucchini if you want and fry that up in the pan first before you add the eggs. Basically, you're putting your sauce base in the pan first. You're developing those flavors up, and then you are kind of stewing the tomatoes together for a bit to meld the flavors and make it all good, and then you put in the eggs in there, and then poaching the eggs at the end. So right now I got butter in my pan, and I'm just putting in some garlic. Sometimes people put like whole garlic because they don't like a lot of garlicky flavor in their stuff, or they like it a bit milder. I like lots of garlic, even though this is a breakfast thing. And this doesn't have to just be a breakfast thing. You can make this for lunch, you can make this for dinner. My chili pepper, I'm probably just going to use about half of these because these ones are pretty spicy. And if you do this with your hands, don't forget, don't touch your eyes after. Alright, let's see. You can see me with my little... Yay! Okay, so I have 2 eggs here. The other thing that you want to do is you can use canned tomato sauce, you can use fresh tomatoes, you can use any manner of things. What you want to remember is that you want it, when you put your eggs in it, you want it to be thick but saucy. I grow tomatoes in the summer. Right now, all my tomatoes are like baby seedlings right now. When I harvest them, some of them I turn into sauce, some of them I eat fresh, but a lot of them I will throw in the freezer whole. Why do I do this? When you take it out and run it under the tap water to defrost it, you can take the skin off. There you go. All of a sudden, no skins. And then I just chop them up, and it's like I have a fresh tomato to use. It doesn't have the extra acidity that you have to add into it when you're preserving tomatoes. Because tomatoes are fairly acidic, but when you can them, you're supposed to be adding in extra lemon juice or an citric acid or something like that. What else am I going to put in here? I've also got the basil here, so I'm going to maybe... let me take some sprigs of that. I can't wait for real basil. My grocery store basil is so lame looking. Look at this thing. What? It's like not even growing. I don't even... Why did they do that? It's weird. It's a weird thing. But I'm going to take a couple more sprigs here. So I've got about 4 sprigs. I'm going to be adding these in at the end only, because when you add them in mid-cooking, you lose a lot of that aromatics from the basil. So I'm going to save those to the end, chiffonade it, and then put it over the eggs in the end. So right now, what it looks like in the pan is here. Woo! See, look how pretty those heirloom tomatoes are. I really think that there's no substitute. I'm wondering how many of you guys garden. To me, it's like the best thing. When I first started gardening, it was just like, I don't know. It's like it opened up a whole new world. The tomatoes are going to take a little bit to boil down a bit. But let's just see. I don't know if I can see who's on here if I press some of these buttons, but I don't know. No, I don't think I can. Who's going to WLSFA? I kind of wish I was. Right now I'm in the middle of a job search. I guess I should fill you guys in on sort of like what's been going on in my life, maybe. So the last time I spoke to you guys, I think, was when I did my Surgiversary video, which was like back in January. And I was so lazy, I just even did like a live one. I didn't even do like a properly like edited type video kind of thing. I will get around to it eventually. I'm sure. You know, I had a very rigorous semester at school. It was a lot. There was a lot of regulations and a lot of science this semester. But it was good. Everything went really, really well. I got some really, really major accolades. But right now, unfortunately, I didn't get the placement that I was hoping to get, and I'm scrambling to find a placement for my co-op right now. And it's really difficult. I have to say, age is not on my side, and unfortunately, I don't think that my previous education is even on my side, unfortunately. It's been, I don't know. I'm trying to stay positive. There's a lot. That's why I'm starting out with a wonderful, good, nutritious breakfast, guys, that is based around what two principles? What is the simplest thing to stay on the straight and narrow when you're like post-bariatrics and trying to like keep your weight in check and everything else? Protein and produce, that's it. That's the easiest thing to focus on. Protein. And my tomatoes and garlic and all that stuff, all the good stuff in there is my veggies, my produce there. Simple guys, use the fats to make things delicious. You don't have to do crazy keto online stuff. You don't have to count macros. You don't have to measure anything. I haven't, like, I don't measure anything. It's almost crazy to me how simple this is and how well it works. And honestly, how well I feel these days. It's been a while. You guys know I've had a long history of health challenges. I have not had the easiest time. But honestly, this is one thing that has made things a lot easier. I'm sure that if I'd had some of the health challenges that I had in the past couple of years, and I was still big for my regain, I was still up at 250 pounds, I think it would have been a very different thing to deal with than it has been. This past year, like the reconstructive surgery, I've bounced back from it. I feel great. I feel strong. And I feel like the eating is gotten to be a thing that's just become simple. Oh, guys, okay, I want to add salt to this right now. Let's show you what things are looking like. Okay, so it's all kind of boiling down there. We're gonna add some salt to it. This is sort of to taste. I like a fair amount of salt in my food, so that's why I'm going strong on the salts. We also want to find some pepper here. Oh yeah, and look at me. Like, seriously, did I ever think when I was in my regain that I'd ever look like this again? No way. That's also the other reason why, like, I wish I could go to WLS Food this year, because like, there are so many people who deal with regain. Like, it's such a regular thing, and it's there are a lot more people talking about it now. There's a lot more coaches dealing with it and stuff like that, but there's just such a simple way to deal with it, and it's such a simple way to rethink food. I think that it's a shame that more people aren't clued in, and I wish I had further reach than just this channel. You know, because I really do feel that I have some good information. I have good experience to contribute. And it would be really lovely to, you know, to be able to do that. I think I'm gonna add some greens into here, so I'm just gonna, let's just see what I got in my freezer here. I'll show you a little bit of like some of the stuff that I have left over here. So in my freezer right now, I've got lots of broth. I've been making this from like leftover bones and stuff like that in the Instant Pot. Easiest thing ever. I will definitely, if you guys are interested, I will definitely do a video on how to do a bone broth in the Instant Pot, because it's super easy. But I'm looking for greens right now. I have some chopped kale. I don't know if I want that. But this is like kale from my garden last year. I like cook it. I'll do like a blanching, and then I save it in these bags. And it's super easy to get back to. I don't know. My tomatoes are boiling away, so that's all good. But I don't know if I got something simple I can just add in here. Not really. I mean, people here, we don't really cook lettuce that much, but like you can add lettuce into stuff like that. That's like an easy way to add fiber into a meal. And yeah, most people don't think of it, but there's a lot of places where people cook lettuces. Okay, so I think I'm just about getting ready to add my eggs into here. So I don't want to risk any of the shell getting in there. So I like to crack it into another receptacle first so I can see if there's any shell and make sure that that is not an issue. All right. So I'm gonna do both at the same time. Okay, we're good with the one. And let's go for the other. What kind of stuff do you guys like having for breakfast? I know a lot of people like sweeter stuff. Ew. Yucky. There's some like weirdness in the egg. Yuck. Do you guys like fish it out when you get like weird, oh no, crap. When you get weird stuff in the egg? That little spot, so grody. Okay, we're good. I don't know, there's not a lot of things that are like, that I'm squeamish about food or anything like that, but I don't know, that little thing in the egg is kind of, it's a little bit weird. We got a chance this semester to tour a duck farm, and that was actually quite amazing, and they do some amazing products. I've been thinking of possibly working on that for my project next year. There's a lot of things I want to do for my project next year, and I'm like thinking of maybe I'm thinking of the possibilities of making my own products and what that might be like and what my potential in that might be like versus in a larger company. I'm not quite sure what way to go. I'm gonna see what happens this summer. Like I said, I'm still job searching right now. It's 8 o'clock here right now. I have 2 big emails I gotta send out this morning, and then I've got to get some contact information, and I might be going this afternoon or tomorrow morning to try and personally go in and make contact in one place, and that's gonna be interesting. Ever have a little bit of social anxiety there? Maybe. All right, so I'm getting ready to put my eggs in. I want to turn the heat down. So far, because I wanted to reduce this really quickly, the heat's been up at around high. And now that it's gotten a little bit thicker, and you want it to stay a little bit loose, right? Like it shouldn't be thick, thick, thick. Because we're going to turn the heat down when we put the eggs in. And then they'll just sort of like, oh no, one of my yolks broke. Oh well, it's a thing. It's going to happen. All right. Let's get in there with one of these. Bloop. Let's go 1 egg. And let's go 2 egg. Alrighty. So I will show you with the camera how I blop these in. So you just kind of like pour them in. Do you see? Unfortunately, the one yolk, you know what? I want another one in there. I want another one in there. I'm going to grab another egg. Okay. That's alright. It's all good. One more egg is not going to be a problem. Okay, so I have my little eggie here. I will show you how we go into the pan with this. Whoa. Whoop. Orientation lock, blah, blah, blah. All right, let's see. Let's see how I can do this. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. We're going to pop it right here. Boom. Okay. All right, now the next thing you want to do is season those eggs, and then we're going to cover this up and simmer it for a bit. Alrighty? Oh my gosh, I'm getting like all kinds of crap all over. All over my hands. Welcome to live chat. Oh, I have live chat in here? Do I? I don't know how this works. Live chat. All messages are filled. I don't think I have any messages. Does anybody want to send me? This is great, trying to find a new way to have eggs. What is it? Be a Fit Girl London? Is that, what's the name? Oh, live chat. I can't see anything anymore. Yes, it is always good to find new ways to make eggs. I am just going to cover this up a little bit. So we've turned our heat down to sort of low, medium, low kind of a thing. We're going to cover it. I'm not going to cover it all the way. I do want some of the steam to still escape a little bit. I'm just going to wash my hands because they're a little eggy right now. Let me throw out my garbage, and then we will get our chiffonade ready. These should probably take about 4 minutes or so to poach. It shouldn't really take that long. Of course, depends on how you like your eggs. If you like them more runny, if you like them a little bit more hard. I like mine when the whites are fairly firm, but the eggs are still runny. That's, to me, the good egg. The good egg. Eggs are great, and actually, like, especially people talk about, like, especially ketogenic diets or low-carb diets and how to eat inexpensively, because a lot of times people, when they first switch over to that kind of diet, because you're not eating the carbs, and carbs are like the cheapest thing on the planet, right? Carbs and sugar, super, super cheap. When you switch over to a more nutrients diet, a lot of people are confused about how to stay within budget on that. Eggs is a great way to do that. You don't have to eat like a meatitarian every day of the week. You can still have like a high protein diet that's full of other things like fish and eggs and alternative proteins. It doesn't have to be just like bacon and steak and pork every night. Like, it's good to have a lot of diversity in your diet. I've talked about this before, but since we're waiting for this anyhow. Oh, and you know what? Let me put my kitchen timer on. I think it's already been about a minute there, so I'm gonna put this on for 3. And we'll see where we look with, I think they're looking pretty good, but I think I'm gonna like rotate the pan a little bit. I find that sometimes, depending on the stove, if you have an old stove, sometimes the heat isn't, or old pans, the heat isn't entirely uniform or doesn't penetrate things. Can be helpful to move it around, especially if things are gonna be staying the same in the pan. Like, once you put those eggs in there, leave them. Don't touch them. You don't want to try to stir an egg while you're like poaching it in like a liquid, because then you're just gonna scramble it. So I'm just gonna put these back in the fridge, and then we're gonna do our chiffonade. So yeah, eggs are great to stay cheap with things. Everybody likes to do the bone broth these days. So good for your gut health. Really, really big for keto as well. And any low carb. It's actually, you know what? Even before, since I had surgery, I always would make broth. Like, usually I would do the box stuff, and like the cheaper box stuff, all it is just salt and water basically. You can just like keep bones from, like, if you get a rotisserie chicken or something like that, keep the carcass, keep the bones. In that Instant Pot, everything pretty much gets pasteurized, so like you don't even have to worry about it. Like, if it's like your own leftovers and you're not serving it to somebody else, you don't want to gross anybody else, but you can use your leftover bones from like a meal. You can throw everything in there, and the more you throw in there, the better. Typically, when I do it, I'll get like 3 batches. So I think about like how much that, if you buy like bone broth at the store, it's starting to get really expensive. That can't remember the name of it, prairie something. That I used to get the bone broth, like the price didn't go up, but the size of the container went down by over 30%. For the same price. So like that means the price went up like probably close to 40%, 30-40%. I was shocked when I saw it. I was like, oh my god, looks like I'm gonna be making it on my own then, because this is too expensive. Looks like we have about 1 more minute left on this. I will show you what the eggs look like right now. Ooh. See, we're getting there. We're getting there. Sorry, my kitchen's a little bit of a mess, and I still invited you in anyhow. Oh yes. Okay, so next thing, we have our basil. I'm just gonna basically, to chiffonade it, you just kind of roll it up, stack your leaves, roll it up, and then you slice it really thinly for your chiffonade. And a lot of times people have this with bread. You don't need it with bread. Like, it doesn't, you know, I feel like when you start cooking with higher nutrient value foods and eat less and less of lower nutrient dense foods like breads and stuff like that don't really provide much. Here we go. Stop. Okay, so I'm going to turn my heat off on that. I'm going to take it off the heat, remove the cover, And then I have my chiffonade. Let me get a plate ready for this. Oh, it's gonna be so beautiful. Can't wait. All right, get the appropriate plate here. I love these plates. Okay, let's get this. And let's get one of our poached eggies. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna have to put this down so I can spoon. Ooh. Alrighty, right. Oh, nice. Ooh, this looks good. Let's get some tomato sauce on top. This actually looks really, really lovely. I will show you in just a moment when I finish plating it all up. Let's put a little bit of our chiffonade. All right. And this is what we've got here. Oh, sorry for the terrible filming, guys. Here we go. Oh. Yeah. See how long did it? Okay, so I've been doing this. You literally saw I started. It's been 20 minutes to make this. You can make this for guests. You can and like everybody can like this. This is like a great meal that you can make that some people can eat at low carb, and the people who are high carb or normal regular folks who have great metabolism, I wish I was one of them, they can have that with the bread if they want. And you can have it just like this. So let's just like cut into some of it here. Ooh, let's see. Okay. All right, the taste test. Let's see. I'm gonna be like, oh, spit it out because it's too hot. All right. This is so good. Oh, that little bit of heat. Yum. Fantastic thing to make in the summer. We have gardening season coming up. Yay! I'm so excited. I'm finally, like last year I didn't really get to have my garden, and this year it's gonna be full force. Looking forward to it. All right, everybody, great idea for breakfast. Quick and easy, satisfying, delicious. Everything that we look for in the food that we want to eat to stay the way that we work so hard to get.